Metal Jesus here, and I'm back again with the man, Radical Reggie. How's it going, dude?
It's going good, bro. And today we're going to do a pickups video, something you guys have been asking for, and we got plenty to show you, man. Are you excited, man?
I am so excited.
I'm pumped up for this, so let's take a look.
All right, dude, how about you go first?
All right, no problem.
I have no idea what he brought, so this is all new to me.
Splatterhouse 2 and 3. Now, this is not the original games. That's a repro. Well, more not a repro, I would say a hack. But this is made by our buddy Jared, Mr. Wizard, who does.
Look at that.
I know, right? They got the bloody cartridge, and basically he put part 2 and 3 on here, so you can switch between the games by pushing the reset button, which is really cool.
Dude, that's a nice label. It's all glossy.
I know, right? And then like the blood in it looks like it's running in there.
Oh, I know.
It's really cool. So what the difference is between this and the original versions is part 2 is actually been hacked to look more like the first game with like more gore and enemies have more detail, and like the terror mask looks like more like the original one. So very cool. Splatterhouse, he did the inside and everything like that. Did the artwork on the, well, not the artwork, but the insert and everything. He probably put the images together and everything, but did a really good job.
Really good job.
I mean, he does excellent work, man. I mean, seriously. I mean,
God, look at that label. I'm blown away by that.
I know, right? And you know, for people who don't have the originals, because the originals have gone up in price. I mean, gosh, if you, I mean, I understand. I would get this version. You get 2 games, and you know,
and
good price.
He properly marks it as a reproduction, so he's not trying to scam anybody.
He's telling it like it is, you know. So awesome thing he put together. I'm happy he made this.
Wow,
that is very impressive.
I want one. All right, so for me, I've been looking for. I've been trying to beef up my N64 collection, and I have most of what I want, but I did not have Yoshi's Story on N64.
That one is really cool. I remember Yoshi had a voice in that game, like Yoshi, or I can't know how to do the voice, but you know.
Yeah, Yoshi!
Yeah, there you go.
I know. Nintendo, hire me. But this is a fantastic game. It plays really well on the N64. It's beautiful. Yoshi is one of my favorite characters.
Really?
Yeah. There's something about him. Again, it's the whole voice, you know?
Well, did you play Super Mario World back in the day, right?
Not super much. Is that the one with the baby?
No, that's the one where Yoshi is the dinosaur. You use him as the dinosaur. Mario just rides him like regular.
Yes,
but what most people used to do is, like, of course, you guys know what I'm talking. When you jump over the cliff with Yoshi, you would kind of get that extra boost by dumping him.
Oh.
Like, yeah, without...
See, I have no idea.
A lot of people know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
it's
really?
Hilarious. So, yeah, just to get the extra jump, but you would lose Yoshi. But, yeah, this game is really cool, and I played it back in the day. I remember seeing the ending, and what's cool about the ending, they have an ending song with Yoshi singing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's adorable. You have to see it.
Okay,
man. So,
that's,
very cool game. A lot of detail went into that game.
And it looks really good still, even today. So, I was happy to... Again, I'm not looking for a lot of N64 games, but I saw this one and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely a must-have for if you have the system. Oh, my turn again. Okay. Wild Guns Reloaded for the PS4.
I'm so glad you bought this because I've been... Okay, so tell me about it because I've been dying to know.
Well, it's a gallery shooter, and it came out on Super Nintendo, and that version, of course, is skyrocketed in price. So this is the better version to get. So what they added in this version, they added 2 new characters. It's 4 players this time instead of the 2-player. It's just as hard as the original, so don't think it's going to be any easier. I mean, these games are tough.
That's what people want, though. You know what I mean?
I want it to be a little bit easier because I want to move on, but I understand.
That's true.
I got to get that old retro gaming back in me, so I can play these harder games. But really good game. The new characters actually add some depth into the game. Like one of them throws grenades, which is cool. Does a lot of damage. So if you mix a grenade character with a gun character, you kind of have that mixture of tearing beating the enemies on screen easily. So, but with 4 players, it's probably amazing. The only downfall of this game is the online is non-existent. It's couch play. So if you're having a party or whatever, friends over, then you could do the 4-player thing. Hopefully they'll patch it, but still worth it. It's a $30 game. You get it off Amazon, even with a keychain too. So they give you a little keychain. I didn't get that though, but that's okay.
It just seems like such a random old game to re-release on it though.
Well, I think what Natsume is doing is that they're releasing a lot of their older games with added features. So Pocky and Rocky will probably be next. The next two.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
People, they'll lose their minds for that.
Hell yeah. Because I've never owned one of those games because they're so sought after, so expensive.
I don't know if I told you, but I actually sold mine. So I got rid of them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I did. I just wasn't going to play them. So I was like, nah. somebody else will like them. So.
Well, and especially if you're not going to play it and it's worth so much and you can get something else that you will play.
Exactly.
Then why
That's
not,
how I looked
right?
at it. So, yeah, but Wild Guns, definitely pick it up.
Cool. All right. For me, I went on vacation, and everywhere I go on vacation, I have to try to see if the little retro stores.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was actually in Maui, and this little tiny. There was only one place on the whole island, and it was a little tiny place, but it was filled with really awesome games. It wasn't picked over.
Oh, really?
Yes. So one of the games that they had there, which I've been looking for, is Rocket Knight Adventures on the Genesis.
Yeah, dude.
And super reasonable price. This is one of those games that's not really expensive, but people are... It's hard to find.
It will be one of those ones that it'll possibly go up. Hopefully not. It'll stay at a good range, but definitely a game to have on the Genesis. It's a lot of fun.
So well made. I didn't realize this. It's actually made by some of the people that made Contra, like Hardcore and some of those other Genesis games.
Oh, wow.
Those Contra games.
I didn't know that.
Same developer, which is probably one of the reasons why this game looks so good. Like it's
back then they were really putting a lot of detail in these games. Like Konami was like a name to remember. Like you knew a Konami game was going to be worth your money. This is definitely one of them. It has a mascot theme to like kind of like feel to it because it seems like they're trying to compete with like Sonic or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever the craze was back then with the mascots, but definitely an awesome game. It actually it goes from being a platformer and some levels are actually like a shoot 'em up. Like you're flying on the rocket pack. Lots of fun, and the boss battles and animation on the characters, like all the animations that it's
so good,
really good, man. Happy you got that, man.
I know, me too.
Yeah, awesome game to have. You guys should pick it up too.
Definitely.
Oh, my turn. Yeah. This next item is pretty outrageous. The Jem the Holograms.
I saw this in your box. I was like, "What the heck?"
Now,
this is not a game?
No, this is actually a DVD cartoon of an '80s cartoon used to come on back in the day. Now, I just want to explain.
You're a brony, aren't you?
Well, this is the thing. Like when I was young and everything, like I love Transformers and everything, but before Transformers came on TV, Jem the Holograms came on TV. And I did not like the show at all because it was just girly and everything like that. Right. But I watched what was that VH1 show called back in the 80s or whatever, the 80s.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They talked about Jem the Holograms. I was like, wow, I should probably look at it again. And I actually watched the cartoon. I was like, wow, this is actually a mature cartoon. Like, it's actually watchable. Like, it has good story.
Real stories.
The music and everything. It's pretty amazing. I mean, about this girl, her name is Jerica. She's trying to, like, save her father's business. And then she finds a Synergy, which is this computer that creates Jem and gives her like this hologram and she sings. It's wonderful, and the songs are really good too. This actually has a thing called the jukebox where you can look at all the music videos from the cartoons and everything in order and everything. So
I'm not surprised to hear you say that because I know that when they remade the movie recently, people got pissed because it was almost like they just completely forgot about what makes this good. And just ignored it.
Yeah, you have to go back to the 80s to make because that's where Jem was. That's what it was in the 80s and everything. You can't try to do a new modern one. I don't know, man. Who knows what they're thinking? All I know is that I could go back in time and look at this and not forget about that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jem and the Holograms, a very good cartoon, truly outrageous. Check it out.
All right. So I went into Pink Gorilla. And Kelsey works there, and every once in a while I'll just be like, Kelsey, what do you recommend? And she recommended Rocky Rodent on the Super Nintendo.
You know, I've always seen that game, and I always pass it up because I can't get over like this crazy look with the shoes and everything. But what did she say about it?
So this is one of her kind of little hidden gems on the Super Nintendo. It's definitely a 90s 2D, you know what I mean? Where it's a character. But it's a 2D platformer. Its gimmick is that he has different hairstyles that give him sort of like different powers or something. I don't know. I literally just got it very recently, so I haven't played it a ton. But I was watching, you know how when you pop the cartridge and it plays like a little demo, it looks fantastic. I was like, holy crap! Like this is a game I'd never heard of before, and it looks kind of like Rocket Knight Adventures. Like wow, like they were doing some great graphics at the time.
The company who did Irem, they're a really good company too. So I guess that could be definitely a good game. I wanted to ask you, like, is it expensive?
No, this wasn't, and I think that's one of the reasons why. Okay. I think in her store it might have been $15 or something like that, which for a lot of Super Nintendo's games today, that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's one I see around. We were out today actually, and I saw a copy of this as well.
What store?
I think Game Lobster had it. Yeah, but anyway, so it is a game you can find out in the wild still. You know,
cool, man.
For who knows how long, but yeah. So I was kind of happy to add that.
I'm definitely gonna look for that one.
Well, and again, you know, when a store owner like Kelsey recommends a game,
yeah, definitely you take notice.
Who can kind of get anything that she wants. I was like, okay, I'll buy it.
Yeah, cool. All right, so next item here, it's out of the way. The PlayStation TV with controller and Lego. Now that was actually sent to me by a fan, which was very nice. He saw that I was looking for one, and he had an extra one. He sent that to me, so that was really cool. I love the Vita, and the Vita TV was the next thing I needed to have. I mean, to play the games on the television is just awesome.
Yeah.
Not only that though, I got this organizer with it, where it's just a stand.
You were telling me I need to get this.
You do. So you put the Vita in the stand, and it just makes it more like a system instead, because the system is so light and everything. You can pull it off the table.
Oh my god,
or whatever.
I know.
Yeah, it's like that gives it like a base pretty much, where you could like have it like neatly there,
and it organizes the cables.
It organizes the cables, so it looks professional and everything. So it's definitely something Vita owners need to have. I'm happy to have it. It's cheap. Actually, one of our local stores had it, but they sold out of it. So the only way I've seen to get it. The way to get it easily is online through eBay. There's a seller who sells it in United Kingdom somewhere. Okay. It's a $7 item, and I think like $7 shipping and stuff like that. So it's worth it. So.
Yeah, I need to get one definitely. That you're right though, because I don't leave the Vita out because it's like it's easy to lose. It's
definitely easy to lose.
Yeah, but it's awesome to have. And this is this came with the game.
So it comes with a download voucher though.
Oh, okay.
They had to be a little cheaper.
Of course.
Then it comes with a controller, which is awesome, and an 8 gig memory card. So that's cool. Well, that's cool. Just man, I love the Vita, man. Yeah. This is just something cool to have. I definitely. So thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Very cool.
Oh, what am I doing? I have to say everything on the table.
In the stack.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so I have a little story with this next one. Again, getting to local retro gaming stores here in the Seattle area. Our buddy Emilio runs one. He's been on my channel before, and it's funny because you'll relate to this because you've also worked at a retro gaming store. That every once in a while you have stuff. You'll have stuff in a back room that you just forget about.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because for whatever reason it's just back there. You have a bunch of extra stock. Well, he had back there Super Castlevania 4 for the past year, and it was like at the top of the shelf. And so he was kind of showing me some stuff. He had like a ColecoVision. He's like, "Look, it's Coleco." And I was like, "What's this up here?" And it's like. Perfect in the box. Wow. It was completely. It'd been sitting there for forever.
So it had the shark case on it too already. Like
no, I bought that.
Okay, cool. But that's freaking. This box looks pretty.
Yeah, and the game is really clean and it's complete as far as I can tell. And and he gave me a heck of a deal because again, it's like this probably would have sold like in a week if it'd been out on.
If it'd been out on, yeah.
Yeah. So, but he gave me a heck of a deal. So
that's awesome, dude.
Never played this before actually until I. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And. You can maybe tell me this is that the original Castlevania games were a little bit frustrating because you could only basically whip, I think forwards or backwards, right?
Yeah, but this one and duck and all that stuff. But this one you could whip in different angles, so it makes the game way more playable. And
immediately I was like, oh, I did. It was so much more fun to be able to do that.
This is definitely one of the Castlevania games. If people have never played the Castlevania games, Castlevania 4 is the one to jump into. Yeah. I would think it's. I won't say it's too hard, but being able to whip everywhere like that, it makes it so much easier.
Yes, I immediately was like, "Oh my god, I love this game."
Yeah, because the first 3 Castlevania games, they could be pretty, especially Part 3.
They're pretty rough.
Yeah, Part 3 definitely.
Yeah. So thank you, Emilio, for hooking me up with this. I don't often collect Super Nintendo games in the box.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to pay extra.
I bet your heart stopped a little bit when you saw that.
I know. I was like, oh. And it was like, yeah, and the price on it was not current.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
He hooked me up.
Okay. So speaking of, we just got through talking about Castlevania. I have a game that's similar to Castlevania, and that is Slain.
You messaged me about this.
Yeah, Back from Hell. Now this
game looks so metal.
This game, it is all metal music. I mean, heavy metal music for the soundtrack. Look, he's even got this doing a little sign.
Yeah, he's doing the sign of rock there.
And it's more like the traditional Castlevania games, where not like the Metroidvania type ones, but it's pretty much you go from one end of the level to the end, like beginning to the end of the level, fight a boss. But this game is brutal. It's like a mixture of Castlevania and ghouls and ghosts. And there's traps and everything that'll kill you instantly. So you have to remember, you have to like really look at where you're going because you can get caught in a trap and you're done. But what really separates this game from Castlevania is it has a blocking system. So an enemy will attack you, and if you block just at the right time, you can do a critical cinematic movement and do heavy damage on it, which is awesome. So a very cool game. This is the only physical release they have for it. I'm sure it's downloadable on the PSN, but you know me, I had to get the physical copy.
Oh, yeah.
It came with a soundtrack.
So speaking of the soundtrack, I'm looking on the back here that it was done by the guitarists of Celtic Frost. They've been around since the 80s, so and they're respected metal band, so that's cool.
Well, they definitely got my respect from getting the soundtrack because I was really into the game. Like the music changes right at certain spots when you get to different areas. It really fits that area, so it's really insane.
I'm gonna have to get this.
The game is the enemies in this game are pretty gory looking though. So if you can't look at that kind of stuff, you might want to stray away from it because
it's pixel art though. Like how
I know, but some people just imagine. You know how some people get.
You close your eyes and.
Man, it's got some demonic stuff in there, man.
Oh, really?
But the game is just so awesome, though. I like it. I'm only at the second level. The first level was pretty. It was tough for me, but you know, I got through it. I powered through it. But it comes with comes with an art book and a soundtrack too, so that's pretty cool. And when I bought it, it actually came with some gummy treats. So they sent some food too. So I was like,
food?
Yeah. I ate them already, but you know, they said like some snacks. I ate them right away. Like I was like, man, heck yeah,
that is awesome. All right, for me. So speaking of, I don't want to talk about Pink Gorilla the whole time. However, I walked in there and they had Jack Brothers on the Virtual Boy. So for those of you that don't know, the Virtual Boy game, there's only 22 games, 23 or something like that total. Jack Brothers, the US version, complete in the box, is incredibly expensive. We're talking $500 to $700 for this game. Now this is the Japanese version, which even complete still goes for $100 plus. It just walked into their store. They sold it to me for $50, and that was not a buddy price. That was actually what they had in the store, which I was like,
that's really cool.
Yeah. So Jack Brothers is the reason why it's so expensive is because it only came out, as far as I know, on the Virtual Boy, and it's so unique to the Virtual Boy because the Virtual Boy is obviously like a 3D console. It's like a portable console. What's cool about it, it's basically a twin stick shooter. And you can see, it's going to be hard to kind of see on this video, but you can see the floors below you. So you basically shoot your way, gathering keys to unlock the next floor. Then you'll jump down to the floor below you, and it gets more and more difficult, and you have bosses and stuff.
So this game is definitely playable if you don't know Japanese.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Now it is in Japanese as far as, because there's some dialogue or whatever. It
but
doesn't
not much
matter.
of it though.
It's an arcade game. So
okay, it's definitely arcade type.
Yeah,
you don't really need it. Okay.
Yeah, I played it for a couple hours and was loving it because I love twin stick shooters, and it's weird because it's not like Robotron. It's as far as I've gotten into it, it's you're only shooting up, down, left, or right. So it works perfectly with the controller too. It's one of the reasons why it's so collectible is because it's so much fun. If you're going to have a Virtual Boy, you're going to want that game.
You want to have this game, so I'll definitely go through the Japanese version then. Cause
absolutely.
I was thinking about getting the American. I only needed one more to complete my Virtual Boy US set, but I never thought I was going to get it. I just wouldn't spend the money to get the American version, but now that I know this, I'll probably get this version.
It's super fun. And then also while I was there too, another Japanese game that, this is not a really expensive game, but it's called Vertical Force.
That game is awesome.
This game is awesome as well. Now again, it's hard to describe in the video here because you're not seeing it in 3D, but this is a top-down shooter, and it uses the 3D in a really interesting way because there is, again, two planes of movement, so you can either be closer to the camera or further away, and your enemies are as well. And so you're constantly going back and forth between these two planes shooting around. And what's crazy about this game is it's unfortunate, but because there's only one color, red, it's kind of hard to see the bullets.
It is. And it adds some like hardness to it, definitely. So
but the 3D is so cool. I was playing this again as well, and this is a game that I don't think there's any Japanese in it. I was playing it the other night, and this is absolutely playable.
Definitely
the Japanese version, and I think I paid $5-10 for this. It's not very expensive.
Yeah, very cool game to have for the system. I mean, even though there's not that many games.
Yeah, but this one is something that you wouldn't normally see in another system. That's why it's so cool. Is if you have a Virtual Boy, well, you should play this game. Yeah, because it's so unique to it.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Buying Virtual Boy games. Who knew?
All right. So, yeah. I recently just acquired Mega Man 7 for the Super Nintendo.
Nice.
No, I rarely show any like Super Nintendo or Nintendo stuff, so I thought I'd show that off.
Because you're not really looking for that stuff, right?
I pretty much got the collection, everything I want.
Stuff you want.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but I had a repro. Actually, had a repro of Mega Man 7. So when I saw someone was willing to trade the real one, I went ahead and got that. So Mega Man 7 is my favorite Mega Man game out there. I mean, I love the uphaul graphics that he did, the updated graphics they did to it. A lot of people knock it, as one of the ones they don't like, but I love Mega Man 7, and the music is really good in it. Robots are cool. It's just a lot. They really updated everything. Like they added a story mode to it, like an in-depth story mode, which is really cool. Very colorful. Definitely a cool game to have, but it just sucks because the price has gone up on it. So a lot of people might not get to experience it.
There's a lot of people who are trying to collect every Mega Man game.
Every Mega Man game?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you see this all the time in forums on Facebook. Are like,
that's true.
Yeah, I'm going for a complete Mega Man collection.
I got pretty much all of them that came out in the U.S., but I'm not going for everything. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you though. You love these clamshells here.
Yeah.
So where are you getting these from? And
I actually got them from Super Smash Games a couple years ago. I don't know where they get theirs. They still get them though, sometimes on request. But I got them because I didn't want to have a bunch of games in cardboard boxes, because then if you have games in there, you have to constantly go in and wear and tear. So I wanted to get these instead, kind of like the Genesis clamshell.
Absolutely.
So, and I actually inserted the art. I had it printed out and everything, and I put an insert.
So you printed. So you had this printed.
Had it printed.
Both sides.
Yep.
Wow,
had it
that's
printed.
Cool.
So it's really cool.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
And now I got it in uniform on my little on my shelf and everything, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't like Mega Man 7, give it another go. Hopefully you guys will like it. I love this game.
Do most people prefer Mega Man X? Is that the one that came after this?
Well, X is a different series.
It's a different series.
Yeah, okay. X is a X2 and X3. Yeah, that's a different series. This one's gone all the way up to 10. So but the last two I think are digital only. But yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Huh, cool. So here's a game I bought because I didn't have it. And I haven't played it yet. So I can't really talk much about it, but I'm always on the lookout for PSP games I don't own because I love the PSP. The Armored Core games are fun. They're fun mech shooters. This looks like a good one based on the on the graphics in the back, but honestly,
it looks really good on the back, from the back art at least.
I just haven't had time to play it yet, actually. So I probably will be capturing footage for this video. That'll be my first playthrough. But I don't find many PSP games that I mean, I know there's some out there that I don't own, but it's getting hard to find. Yeah,
they are. They definitely are. They're going the way of the Dreamcast. So
I know. So, and you played the Armored Core games before.
I have it on PS1. I think I have one on PS2 as well. I played it a few years ago, and I thought it was fun. I mean, you basically robot battles and everything in an arena. If you like those type of games, definitely it's cool. I mean, kind of reminds me. Well, no, that's going too far. I was going to say kind of like Power Stone a little bit, but nah. It's just its own game, so very cool.
Yeah. It's From Software. There you go.
People love From Software. Have some. People. A lot of their titles are sought after.
They are interesting. Well, that's cool. Yeah. So I haven't played it much yet, so I can't really talk too much about it because I just got it this week. But
you got it. So maybe in the comments you could let them know.
Yeah. Let me know.
Okay. So back to the PS4 kick.
Does it have more dolls in it? What is this?
This has got dolls. This is Blade Arcus from Shining EX. I think that's how you say it.
Back here. Yeah,
it's crazy, right? So the Japanese, they really take care of their special editions. So I picked this up because it was cheap on Amazon. This is a fighting game. Now it's a 2.5D fighting game versus fighting game, kind of similar to the way of Battle Fantasia, which we did in our fighting games video. Very cool. It comes with a calendar, 2 soundtrack CDs. The game, of course, and something else I can't remember. I think it was a calendar or something like that. I can't really remember, but it's like, that's well,
last year's calendar. So.
Last year's calendar, right? But it's cool that they throw that kind of stuff in there. But it's like, man, the art is like, whoa, dude, okay.
That's awesome.
But the game is really cool. It's not like a hardcore fighting game, but it's definitely fun from like a beginner type fighting game. It kind of reminded me of Rival Schools in a way, because after each round you can switch characters. You get to pick 2 characters in the beginning of the game, and then you can switch between them after the rounds and everything, which is really cool. So you can change it up a little bit. You got your super moves. You got decent. The music was good in it. I think the game is based off the Shining Force series, but I'm not really sure. So maybe you guys could tell us. Definitely a cool fighting game to have. I love fighting games, even though I'm not really good at them anymore. But I love, on a casual level, it's a good time.
Do you? So you have so many fighting games. I mean, do you pretty much think you have all the PlayStation 4 fighting games
right now?
Yeah,
I'm missing like 2, and they're in Japan though.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty much most of them. Yeah.
And it seems like for most systems, you tend to get most of the fighting games.
Yeah, because fighting games, it just reminds me of the times back when I was like in high school when me and my friends used to go to a donut shop and play these games, and we had so much fun. I mean, we were laughing at each other, you know, like, and one of us get mad, we just go sit down for a minute, get a donut, and then we'll start over again. But one of the main games we played back then were, I think it was Marvel's Capcom 1 and Street Fighter 3, and we was in Alpha 3, and we used to go back and forth. It was just so much fun. Yeah. And, you know, ever since then, like fighting games, like especially another game, Street Fighter EX was another game we played a lot at home. So, yeah, fighting games, that's my heart. But,
and with having so many fighting games, I think I've asked you this before, but how do you go back and forth between knowing all the moves? Are they basically the same?
It's pretty much universal. I mean, if you know how to do a half circle, like a quarter circle, all that stuff, you know, if you know how to do those moves, then you'll pull off something with somebody. Okay. Moves are very similar in each game. The only thing that gets complicated is when you have to do 360 motions, which I cannot do.
360 motions.
That's like when you do a full spin on the controller.
Oh, okay.
Like a Zangief from Street Fighter.
Is that the D-pad you're doing that on, or?
Yeah, I usually stick with a D-pad. You could do it on analog; it's probably better. But the 360 motion is something I've never really been able to do properly. That's like for characters like Zangief and Street Fighter, just so you guys know. So yeah, if you know how to do those moves, you'll be good in any fighting game. So.
You and I need to do you needed to teach me how to play
I actually brought a game that I was gonna let you try out, man, and
really?
Go from there. Maybe we'll do a gameplay video or something.
All right. Okay, next up for me. So this is a Saturn import. This is the Game Paradise. This is a shooter I've been wanting for a long time.
Oh, I have the sequel to that.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
On the Saturn, or what's
No, it's on the sequel came out on the PS1.
Really?
Yeah. So it's really cool. It's really good.
And what is it called? Is it called?
It's called the Game Paradise Part 2.
Oh, really?
With the Japanese name attached to that, probably I don't know. Unless it says the Game Paradise as well. But
yeah, the English.
Just the Game Paradise. Okay, yeah.
So I got this because, well, I was really, really jealous of Anna. We did a Saturn video, and I love my shooters, and this is just like and this is technically I think called a cute 'em up, right?
Yep.
But the thing is about cute 'em ups in general is that even though they're cute graphics and maybe they have kind of silly sound effects, but usually they're still hard as hell. Most of them are not easy to play, and so that's cool because there's still a good challenge there. And so I was able to find a copy of this, and I was really excited about it. I'm not looking for a lot of Saturn games, and Saturn imports are kind of tricky because really only shooters are the ones I can kind of play without knowing Japanese. But I was very happy to get a copy of this.
Yeah, and this game is not like, I wouldn't call it a bullet hell either. It's just somewhat of a tough regular shooter, which is cool for those of you like challenge. Bullet hells for me are like, man, your eyes have to be focused.
Yes.
Because you'll be out of it within minutes. So
yeah.
Game Paradise is definitely a really cool one. Actually has a little story mode in it, even though we won't know what it is, but it's still kind of cool. They have all that stuff in it. So, very cool game, man. Happy you have that.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, my turn again. Let's see here. Oh, this is one I forgot to show a while back. So I got this from my friend Jimmy, and he sent this from Norway. And he knew I was looking for this game. This is the Gregory Horror Show.
I've heard of this.
Now, Gregory Horror, I've never seen the cartoon for it, but man, this game is like it's like a survival horror for kids, pretty much, like kind of like Resident Evil style. Yeah, it's very cool. So you're not Gregory, but you're a character who's stuck in a hotel, and you have to collect the souls of the ghosts that are there, or else you have to stay there forever. But one thing that stood out to this game was the voice acting is superb. Like, it's funny. Like the really well done voice acting, very eerie and everything. It's somewhat scary in that little kid sense and everything, but very cool game. If you like survival horror type games, definitely get the Gregory Horror Show. I haven't played all the way through it. I'm still in the beginning stages, but one of the things that compelled me to keep playing is the creepiness, and the voice acting is just really on there.
Well, I've done a bunch of PlayStation 2 hidden gems like years ago, and this always came up in the comments.
Really?
Always. Oh yeah, people were like, "You've got to try playing this." I don't know if it came out in the U.S. or not.
It was supposed to, but it got canceled for some reason.
But people mention all the time as a good game. So should I put it here?
Oh yeah, definitely. I keep forgetting I throw it back over here.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, well, little controversy here. Wii U. I bought a Wii U. Finally. and it was really funny is that when I got this for Christmas. It was a Christmas gift. You were like, why?
Yeah, the Wii U is just something I can't get into. But I had one before.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I think it's a cool system. It's just not more of my taste. So it's like
it's a weird system because. So first of all, this has. If you're wondering why this looks this way, it has a case, a cover on it.
A cool one.
But it is the Zelda edition right here. Mm-hmm. It's a weird console because it feels like it is really split in half. Like, half of it is here, and then half of it is this bulky system underneath your television. It's although I will say that this is very light. It's all the things people say, right? This is actually a pretty decent controller. And then I also got a bunch of games for it. Because,
let's check those out.
Because GameStop was doing a buy two get one free as well.
Oh, I love that when it happens.
I know, and so I actually bought a bunch more games than this, but I just want to talk about Super Mario 3D World. I played this originally on the 3DS and absolutely love this game, and this is just as good as if not better.
Okay.
So this is classic 2D Mario. He also has a cat suit, which is a really fun.
The cat suit's really cool?
It is, because you can basically climb walls.
Okay.
And so what you end up doing with that is just trying to find a bunch of hidden areas.
Ah, okay.
Which is really fun, because you don't need necessarily platforms and stuff. I also accidentally bought Bayonetta 2.
That was at GameStop?
Yes.
With the...
Yes. And so it was really funny because it was up front. I knew I wanted Bayonetta 2, so I brought Bayonetta 2 up there, and he's like, oh, well, we have one with the original
First game.
And same
price.
And so do you want to swap it out? I'm
yes.
like, duh.
Yes.
So for those of you that don't know, the original release of this had two games in here, the first game and the second.
Yep.
And since then, this has become somewhat collectible. Most people like me want to get both versions of it.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think the only way, if you don't get this physical version, I think it's downloadable possibly on.
I
don't even know if it's downloadable or not, but definitely this is the one you want to get if you have the choice.
Yes.
Bayonetta, cool game.
And then I mentioned Yoshi. I had to get Yoshi's Woolley World.
Is that similar to the Yoshi game you showed earlier?
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Okay.
Although what's really cool about this is that kind of like Kirby's Epic Yarn, is that this is all about yarn and different kind of fabrics.
Okay.
And what's really cool about this is that it's got great visuals. It's not too difficult for people who are looking for a platforming game that they can actually perhaps beat.
Okay.
This is your game.
Okay.
It's really cute. There's lots of things to collect, lots of little hidden things to find. And then here's a game that is getting a bit hard to find. A lot of people said I should get this. Yeah, this is Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE. Kind of an odd name, but
so is it like a dance game or something like that?
Pretty sure this is actually an RPG.
One of my buddies, Darren, was raving about this game, saying it was freaking cool, and I was like, "Well, why is it on the Wii U? Is it on something else?" No, it's exclusive to the Wii U. So
yeah, so
lucky you guys.
I think it does have they're talking about like singing and stuff like that, but then it's an RPG. I don't know. So
it looks very interesting though.
Yeah.
I mean, especially from the cover. I mean, man, it looks like something I would play if it was on something else besides the Wii U. I mean, maybe I'll get a Wii U if y'all don't know, man. I don't want to say that, but
so
yeah.
What was really weird about the Wii U is that I actually had a hard time finding one. Now, it's almost impossible in the Seattle area to find one new. Nintendo has officially stopped making them, and they're completely sold out. And the problem I had just getting a used one. So what I ended up doing was going to 6 different GameStops, just because they were the only ones that even had them on their websites, and they were all sold out except because I wanted the Zelda one, and it was the only one I could find. And even leaving the parking lot, some guy was like, "Oh my God, like you just bought the last one," and I was like, "Yeah, sorry."
He offered to buy it off you.
Yeah, he did. He was just like, like, "Okay, well, what'd you pay for it?" Okay, and I was like, "No, man." At that point, I'm like holding it. I'm like, "No."
I probably would have said if the price is right. No.
I do feel like the Wii U could end up being like the Dreamcast. Where the games that are good on it are, people will want. It all depends on what gets ported over, I think, to the Switch. If most of these games end up on the Switch, then maybe this won't be that collectible. But if there's a bunch of games that don't make it up on any other systems, it could be very collectible.
It'll definitely be more appreciated in the future.
Yeah, it's not a bad system.
Not at all.
I mean, and actually, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, the visuals don't hold up to the PlayStation 4." I didn't really notice, honestly. And I've got a 4K television, and these games look really good on it. Mario looks fantastic.
People have to understand that, not all games need to have all this horsepower.
Yeah, or all this volumetric shading and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Who cares?
I mean, as long as the game looks good,
it's fun.
That's what it's all about. I mean, it's not all about all the horsepower that a system has or whatever. I mean, the Wii U, it did well for what it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't knock it for that, They put out fun games, so.
Yeah, and in addition to this, I also got ones like, Mario Kart 8 and all that sort of stuff. All the ones that people recommended, but.
Yeah.
So, I'll have probably 10 or 12 in my collection, and that'll be it.
Okay, I got this one just before the show. Thunder Force 6. Yeah, Thunder Force. They made a 6th one.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Import game. As you guys know, I have a test PS2 system, so I can play any game from any region on it, which is so nice. But this one is a cool shooting game. Basically, it's one of those shooters where you could switch between weapons and everything, which is really cool. At least I think it was. I've been playing so many shooters lately. I just got it, so I haven't really played it that much. I did beat the first boss, and it was pretty fun, man. I was like, wow. I like the Thunder Force games. The third one was my favorite, but Part 6 might be my new favorite. But they're well done shoot 'em ups. Not really hard, but this one I would say is kind of hard to see a lot of that stuff coming at you and everything, because it's really, I don't know how to say it. It's just like power-ups look like, bullets look like power-ups pretty much. So you have to be careful, so in that sense. But definitely a cool shoot 'em up to have. Happy to have it.
I did not know they made a 6th one.
Yeah, that's the last one they made, and yeah, a lot of people don't know they made a 6th one. They think 5 is the last one, but the 6 is not an evil number, is it?
Well, 666.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It'll take a while for them to get up to that one.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, for me is a game that you handed me that was given to you and I, right?
Yeah, from Jared, Mr. Wizard.
So I only know a little bit about this. So please tell me about AM2R Return of Samus.
Okay, so basically this game is I'm sorry I forgot the guy's name. He decided to remake a Metroid game. This is a remake of the Game Boy version. He worked on this for I think 6 to 7 years by himself, I think.
Right.
And he released it a couple months ago, but right after he released it, he got a stop and desist order from Nintendo.
Milton is his name.
Milton, I'm sorry, Milton. I'm so
no, that's all right.
with games and everything. I forget a lot of stuff. But Milton, yeah, he made this game, and it took him 6 to 7 years to make it, and he did a great job on it. He pretty much kind of used the formula from Super Metroid, I believe.
It says Metroid 2 Remake launched on October 6th, just in time for the series' 30th anniversary.
Oh wow, he was waiting for that day. That's awesome. Dude.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. So it's a remake basically of the Game Boy game.
Yeah, which the Game Boy one has a really good story to it. The game is hard to play because there's no map system that you're playing on a Game Boy screen. Yeah. So he wanted to do the game justice, and he did just that. I mean, you don't even need to play the Game Boy one anymore. Play this one. But what Jared did, he made it a physical release and everything. So he put the game in here, the game on it right here on the disc, and then
Look at that.
He made a soundtrack CD with it too of all the game's music. So that is pretty awesome. He did that. So
man, this is beautiful. Look at that cover too.
I know, right? And I'm just getting into the Metroid games, so this is really outstanding. He hooked it up, man. Thank you, Jared, so much, man. I really appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
you do
super cool.
Really good work on your stuff, man. I mean, you can see the dedication.
Man, it looks amazing.
So yeah, Metroid 2. So now, I'm already playing Fusion, but after I play Fusion, maybe I could just play them in order now. So I'll just play,
And by the way, this on the bottom it says this game is not endorsed by Nintendo in any way.
Yeah,
completely fan made.
But fan made games are sometimes the best ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of someone who sent us some cool or sent me, not you, sorry, but a guy named Kenny contacted me, who I don't know where he got these games, but he had multiple big box PC games that are unopened, and I think.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I got excited.
And so he contacted me, and he was like, "Hey, is there any of the stock that you want?" I think it was probably like a store or something like that. Anyways, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude, thank you so much," because I am going for a complete Tex Murphy collection. Tex Murphy, for those of you who don't know, is an adventure game, a classic adventure game on the PC with amazing full motion video, some of the best ever made. And what's great is that the owner of the company, I believe, or certainly he's one of the developers, but he plays the main character and he's fantastic. He is Tex Murphy.
That is badass, dude.
And these are really cool games. They're film noir style, but they're in the future. So they have that kind of 1930s vibe, but it's like Blade Runner-esque.
Right.
Super cool games. And so he offered to send this to me, so I was very happy.
How close are you to completing the set?
I need one more. And that is Martian Memorandum, which is a little bit kind of a collectible one.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been watching eBay, and it's like, do I want to pay $130 for that game?
Woo!
I know. For a PC game, that's kind of high.
Speaking of Blade Runner, though.
Oh my God. This is a game I've been wanting for a long time. I've been showing it up in my game on some of my videos, and people have been commenting on it because this is such a good game. It's not the movie, but it's kind of a retelling of a movie because it has multiple paths. Every time you play this game, it's a little bit different.
Okay.
So it's pretty neat. It's hard to follow a game guide because it changes depending
what you do.
Play it. Like one character might be a prostitute, and the next time she's the same character would be like an investigator or a police officer. So it's beautiful. It's awesome.
Do you still play as Deckard as the main character?
You play. I don't think you. It's been a while since I've actually played and beat this game. You do play that type of character now.
Okay.
So it's very similar in style to the movie. And it has beautiful graphics. This game, when it came out, I don't think it sold very well, but people who played it like me loved it.
Wow. Dude.
It's one of the best late 90s, early 2000s.
I wish I could experience a lot of the PC games you have, man, because it looks like they look mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah. This came out in 1997. So I was very happy to get that. And then he also sent two games that probably nobody remembers but me. That's because right at the end when I was working at Sierra, we released these games. And so I remember. So this dude is a fighting game that's freaking horrible. Horrible!
You see that?
And I can say that because I was there when we put this out. But it was what we were trying to do at Sierra was put some more action games out. So, for instance, you'll notice this has KAA at the bottom here. This is Sierra's brand for kick-ass action.
Oh, wow.
That's what that stands for. But we were known for adventure games, and so this is not good.
I guess they wanted to kind of fit what was the real hype.
Consoles.
Yeah, consoles.
And Sierra at the time was doing. We were certainly doing really well on PC, but we wanted to also try to attempt to do arcade games.
Yeah.
And so this is a fighting, futuristic 3D fighting game for the PC, and it's we should play that sometime because you'd laugh.
You'll break the seal?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool, man.
And then also a game. Actually, this is a pretty decent game. Again, nobody really bought it at the time. We published Papyrus Games. They're a developer that did like NASCAR games and stuff like that. Very realistic driving games. And they also put out a Soda Off-Road Racing, which is as you can see here, it's like the supercharged trucks in mud and stuff like that. Really early 3D graphics, but at the time I thought it was kind of cool. So. I didn't have a copy of these in my collection. I was pretty happy with that.
You got plenty of space for it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Man. So thank you very much for sending these to me.
Okay. I'm going to put these over here. You guys know I love my RPGs. So next game here is Tales of Berseria, which I recently got the collector's edition. And
does it have a little bobble thing in it?
It has some kind of like bobble thing in there. They kind of cheaped out with that because remember the Xillia that we did back when they had the figure and everything was really nice, and now they're going to these smaller ones. But really cool game. It's one of my favorite Tales games right now, even though Tales of Legendia is still my #1 favorite. But I love the Tales series, man, and they really poured their heart out into making this collectible set. I mean, soundtrack. Hard case, just
keychains. There's trading card set in here.
So I'll never use a lot of that stuff, but but still, it's just nice to know it's there.
Yeah.
So definitely a cool RPG. I love the Tales series.
What is it about the Tales series that you like so much?
They pretty much stay the same in a way. I mean, you know what to expect from them. I mean, when the Final Fantasy games comes out, each game is really different from the other one. Yeah. But with the Tales series, if you want to be familiar with the type of games you like. That one's the same. They change stuff up a little bit. The stories are different, of course, gameplay, but it's still a Tales game. You know it is. So. And
is it real-time combat?
Real-time action combat. You can do like a lot of cool combos, then kind of super moves. I forgot what they call them in this game, but yeah, very awesome. So, Tales of Berseria, pick it up, even if you can't get the collector's edition or you don't want to pay the expensive price for it.
All right. Abzua.
Okay.
Abzua.
So this game, what's this game about?
Well, let's say this maybe is not even a game. So I believe this is made by, I should probably have researched this, but I believe this is made by the people who made Journey. You played Journey?
Yeah, I got Journey on your recommendation.
Yeah, so Journey I actually really like. It's a, kind of more casual game. It's not a walking simulator, but it's definitely something that you can breeze through in 2 hours. This is very similar to that, except for it's all swimming. And so this was a $20 game, and I was curious about it because I did like Journey, and I sometimes do like those kind of more casual experiences. I wasn't crazy about this. Those levels in Tomb Raider where she swims?
Yeah. Oh, but we're talking about the old school Tomb Raiders?
Well, whatever. But you know what I mean? Like some level where she dives into the water and maybe she has to swim around and maybe pull a chain.
Yeah.
2 hours of that. That's pretty much what this is. I know.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, it's pretty. The fish AI is cool, I guess. I was so bored out of my freaking mind with this. I mean, it's one of those games, too, where there's no dialogue. The story is like paintings on a wall.
You got to figure things. Oh,
and at the end of the day, I'm like, so if you like this game,
let us know in the comments. I don't know what else to say about it.
I wanted to mention it because it got a physical release, and that's why I bought it, because it was like,
where was it? Where'd you get it at?
Just GameStop.
Oh, GameStop had it. Okay.
Yeah, so it got a pretty wide release, but it is one of those games where I think no one will probably buy it.
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting. I played it all the way through to the end, and I was kind of like, eh.
Oh, you actually beat it? Wow.
I did. Okay. And because I was like, well, maybe. I mean, there is a little tiny twist. Because, to give you, not to spoil anything, but you're swimming the whole time. How can you hold your breath? So that's the big question. It does explain that.
Right.
So if you are really intrigued about how you could hold your breath for an hour, this game will explain that.
Well, it's cool. Even though you didn't really care for it that much, you got your money's worth and still beat it, though. So
yeah, I did. And, I get it. I feel like these games are more like demos. They're more like tech demos. It's almost like developers are like, let's make some really cool levels and some really cool AI for
see how everybody reacts to it.
And then they forget to put the gameplay in. Yeah. The puzzles are pull a chain to open a door.
Maybe this game would have been more acceptable at the beginning of the PS4's life cycle.
Yeah.
Now it's just...
Or you should hire somebody who can make gameplay.
Yeah, put some gameplay in it.
Put some gameplay, some puzzles, whatever, and then you could charge $60. That's my recommendation. All right, dude. What else you got?
I got these DS games recently. Monster Tale, which is pretty much like a Metroidvania type game. Really cool game.
Really?
Basically, the top screen is you going around hunting in different areas, or like platformers and all that stuff, and then your monster at the bottom screen. So you send him, I think from what I played of it, you send him like power-ups and stuff, and he gets stronger, and he does battles on his own, which is pretty cool. So basically, it's really cool. Like I said, it's a Metroidvania type game. I haven't got too far in it, but definitely one of those hidden gems out there. And the next game here is definitely a hidden gem. You couldn't tell that by looking at it. Barnyard Blast.
That cover looks seriously lame.
I know, right? Yeah. So first thing I saw with this game, it's pretty much like a Castlevania type, like you are maybe a Contra type in a way. Huh. Well, I would say more of a Castlevania type because you walk really slow and you have a whip and everything. You whip enemies and everything. You jump on platforms. You fight a boss. It's really cool. Has a silly story to it, which is kind of hilarious if you actually read it. But definitely one of those games you would not know that's like a Castlevania type. Castlevania type games I would say, are pretty uncommon today. Like at least from what I've seen, at least in the physical format.
Yeah. It is amazing that we're still discovering DS games that are kind of hidden gems.
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, I couldn't believe I found some games. I thought my collection was pretty much done, but finding these games is wow. God, I'm amazed. But definitely pick up both of these games if you see them. They're really good games. I'm happy to have them in my collection.
Yeah.
I will beat them soon.
Yeah, I'm always looking for more DS games because there are a lot of releases on the DS.
There are. So there's a lot. There's a lot of potential just if you see what's out there. So awesome, man.
All right. Do you watch Mark from Classic Game Room?
Yes.
He loves some of his favorite games.
Oh.
Is EDF, Earth Defense Force.
Oh yeah, I have heard him talk about this game a lot.
Yeah, so I walked in the store and they basically had 2 of these and I was like, oh my god, because I didn't have them, you know. So Earth Defense Force 2017 and then Earth Defense Force 2025. These games are third-person shooters, kind of.
Yeah, it's basically. You guys ever seen that movie? What was it called? It was the Alien movie. It came out back in the day. It was called.
Well, that's really vague.
Yeah, I know, right? Space Troop Force.
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. Thank you. I was.
Yeah.
No, Starship Troopers.
Is that right? Yeah.
I was thinking about VR Troopers. That was the old.
Oh, okay.
Power Ranger. No, never mind. Anyway,
you're right. Like big bugs.
So if you ever wanted that movie to be a game, this is pretty much it. Basically, aliens are attacking the Earth, and there's a force out there that deals with them. Now, I think the game online, you can actually play online with people, which is cool. Up to 4 people co-op, so it's a lot of fun. Lots of like stuff going on. It's really feel like you're in a war and everything.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's badass, man.
Hordes and hordes of bugs coming at you.
Yeah.
And
vehicles you could use and get into. Just really insane.
Now, most people say that 2025 is the one to get because that actually mixes up the different types of characters you can play. Mm-hmm. Like in that one, one of these was actually ported to the Vita. I mean, it might be 2017. I forget which one.
I think it was this one, but I could be wrong though. Who knows?
But these are kind of brainless shooting.
Yeah, if you just want to get in a game, some action-packed game.
Blow
this is
stuff
definitely
up,
it.
And I guess the dialogue is absolutely like cheesy. Horrendous, but in a good way. You know,
perfect. That's all you need.
And also too, before I forget. The day we're filming this, actually, a new one for the PlayStation 4 was just announced. It's like EDF 5. And it looks amazing. So, same thing. It almost looks like the same character models for the bugs, but with just like more shadowing and stuff.
Hey, as long as we're blowing them up, man, we're good to go, man. I mean, these games are just a lot of fun to get into, especially if you have people to play with. I mean, online. I heard online is pretty active too, so you always find somebody to play with online. So
it's a type of game where if you're bored on a Saturday night and you just want to blow some stuff, you don't want to think too hard. You just want stuff to die.
Earth Defense Force.
But what's funny, dude, is that I found these at GameStop. And I walk up to the counter, and the guy's like, "Oh, we had those." Like he was pissed.
Really?
He's like, "I would have bought those in a second." I was like,
"Nice, dude." It was funny when you mentioned Mark. Man, I just immediately thought Vectrex, so he said that's his favorite system of all time.
Well, he loves Truxton, Vectrex, and EDF.
Wow, awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Oh yeah, it's my turn. So, Dariusburst Chronicle Survivors. This is a Vita game.
I don't think I have this. Do we? No.
It came out as a download over here, but you know how I am about downloads and everything.
Yeah.
It's a great shooter. It was recommended to me, and I finally did it. I bought it through a friend online and everything. And very cool game. What's cool about it is that I noticed that I like about it. It seems like fast-paced action. And the music in it is really good. Like in the first level, there's a woman singing, like kind of like to pump you up and everything towards the gameplay and everything. Bosses are pretty cool. I've only beaten the first level, but definitely a really cool game to have. Shoot 'em ups are kind of like rare to get them in a physical format.
Yeah.
And instead of downloading it, I wanted to get the physical version of it because I just have to have the physical copy.
Oh, absolutely.
When a game has its own shape, that just makes it more complete. When it's digital, it's like.
Well, you don't know. You don't have to worry about your memory card dying or your hard drive dying.
Yeah,
true. Or heaven forbid, if like for instance, to give you an idea, PlayStation Plus. It's like I'm kind of considering not renewing PlayStation Plus because I don't really play online.
Right.
But then all of those games that I got,
they become coffins.
Yeah, they're going to be unusable. And so part of me is like, physical whenever possible.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So this next game I picked up recently. I'm bad. I haven't played it, but I picked it up because I do love the Metal Slug series. This is Metal Slug X,
and that was a really good port of it too.
I've heard
a lot of people were skeptical about those type of games being put on the PS1. I think they did a good job on it. I didn't notice any slowdown or anything like that. Very fun to play. Metal Slug X is considered one of the best Metal Slugs next to Part 3. Definitely a really cool game. It's actually a remake of Part 2.
Is it?
Oh. Yeah, because Part 2 didn't play so well. Like when it's 2-player, it lagged. So they remade it into this one. So,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not always looking for PlayStation 1 games, but every once in a while something like this pops up. I'm like, oh my god, this is also at Amelia's too.
Oh, nice. So, you had that too?
In the back.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's funny? This game came out as a budget game, if I remember right. It was like a $20 game when it first came out. So
now Metal Slug games are everyone wants them.
Yeah,
definitely because they're still really fun. I love that pixel art. I love whenever you're all the humor of it all. And the bosses are super fun.
Yeah, they are. And one of my favorite things about the game is the vehicles, the slugs.
Yes.
I think that's what you call them, slugs. But you get into like a tank,
submarine,
or whatever you get into. Those things are really fun to use.
Yeah, the camel with the missiles.
The camel with the missiles. Yeah. Very cool series, man. That's an awesome game, man.
Yeah.
Glad you have that. Oh, I turn again. So another shoot 'em up for the Dreamcast this time. This game is Cyverior 2. I think that's how I pronounce it. I think it's pronounced it right this time. Who knows?
That's a weird you guys will correct us.
I think it's Cyverior, but basically it's a bullet hell for the Dreamcast, and it seems like a simple one. But what's different about this game, I noticed, is that you have a shooting button in the game, but if you push another button at the same time, your robot spins around and shoots even more bullets. So depending if you push those two buttons or just one, depending shows how much fire comes out, which is pretty cool. I thought that was pretty unique. Other than that, though, it seems like a basic bullet hell shooter. I got it on the cheap at the PRGE swap meet.
Oh, you did?
Really cool. Yeah, I was very happy about that. And to get a Dreamcast game like this, I just couldn't pass it up. I mean, I loved all the robots and the tech and everything like that. So when I saw the cover, I was like, "Yep, it's going home with me."
I do like bullet hell shooter games as well. Usually because they can be really hard. However, if the hitbox is clearly defined,
yes,
and
you could definitely get an understanding of it.
Yeah, and the trick to bullet hell, at least for me, is that I don't focus on the entire screen. I look at that little hitbox and I just basically barely move it as the bullets are coming on. And there's a certain type of zen to that, you know what I mean? It's hard. It's stressful.
Yeah, it is. Especially if you're fighting a boss that's shooting all these bullets at you and he's not dying and the fire... Like,
I know. Man. And it gets crazy. Like, there'll be different speeds of bullets coming at you, and oh my god, they're nutty games, but they're fun. Huh.
Awesome, man.
All right. The last one for me is a game that recently came out, and I had to get it. And actually, so this is Shantae... the Half Genie Hero, which you actually recommend, or you mentioned was coming out in the last...
coming out in one of our last videos. Yep.
And so when this came out, I had to get it. So this, I also got this on the PlayStation 4 as well. This is the... I don't know if this is a special edition.
No, all of them came like that as far as I know. So maybe if they make a second print, it might be just the game itself. But the first print came with a soundtrack, and just a soundtrack in a game, which is really cool. So
and this is... Oh my god, so... I've been playing a little bit on each system, and man, I'll tell you what, so much fun. I mean, they're just so well-made games. Way Forward is just a fantastic developer.
Yeah.
And, and it's little things, too. Like, I love how everyone sits there and kind of boogies with the music, you know what I mean? Like, even when they're talking, they're going back and forth, and,
Nice, dude.
The humor, the animation is awesome.
Yeah, the soundtrack is really good. Boss fights are really cool, and the platforming is just really a lot of fun. It's really a throwback from the old game. This is the first game to actually change the graphics into like a not pixel and everything. It's like more of a, I don't know what you would call these type of graphics. Like more
you could say flash animation a little
bit. Flash animation, okay.
Yeah, but it not in a cheap way. Like
not in a cheap way, a really good way. Way Forward is definitely they know how to put out good platform games. I have most of their platform releases. Even the Sabrina games for the Game Boy, I have those because those are good platform games. But this game is just remarkable. I hopefully it's doing well in sales, and they'll make another game. But I know it's getting some free DLC coming out in the next couple of weeks or so. So I'm not really sure when, but pretty soon though. But it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and for me, it's like physical Vita games that come to retail is very few and far between. Yeah. And so I wanted to support that.
Did you pick it up at GameStop?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Cool.
And actually, it was really funny. Is I went in there for another reason, and I just saw it there, and I was like, oh my god! You know,
and
they had one copy.
One copy. Yeah, they all got like one copy.
Yeah, one copy, and I was like, thank you.
So just to let you guys know, this game retails for $29. So like I said, you get a soundtrack and the game in this long box, which is pretty cool. So I definitely would pick it up. It's also available for the Wii U for those of you like got the Wii U system.
Oh, you look at me like disdain.
But I actually had the PS4 version first, and when I wanted to see how it would look on on the Vita, so I did the remote play, and it looked really good. So I went and got the Vita version too. So
remote play might be tough though, because there is that tiny bit of delay with the platform.
I didn't notice, but it definitely probably is in there. So
yeah,
but luckily I got the Vita version. So
yeah, me too.
All right, so it's was that your last item?
That is my last item.
Whoa, well this last item's pretty big, man. I mean,
you gonna go get it? I'll wait.
I guess I could go do that.
We don't have Joe here to pop up in the back.
Well, let's make sure. Okay,
yeah, really. It'd be awesome if he was, though. We didn't know it.
All right. So you have a drum roll.
Yeah, really. It's a blow up girlfriend.
I recently got a PlayStation sign. Now this is oh man,
God, this thing is actually heavy, isn't it?
I know, right? It's
so this is for retail.
This is what they had in the retail stores. I bought it off a friend who was just trying to get rid of some signs he had, and this was one of them. And you guys know me, I'm a PlayStation enthusiast, so I had to have this.
Yeah.
Even my mom went crazy when she saw it. She said, "Oh, you love PlayStation."
Jeez, this thing is heavy.
I know, man, I know. You see how it looked when it's turned on. It's really bright.
We'll do some B-roll of it.
Okay.
But
yeah, man, it's a sign, so it's going to go on top of my PlayStation stuff.
Well, these type of things, people, like everything with gaming, are really starting to collect. Well, they've been collecting for a while. I mean, if you build a game room like I have, it makes sense. It's one of those things where you want to have that same look that you had, going into a store when you're a kid,
Yep.
And I've certainly considered it as well. The thing is, it's such a slippery slope. It's like, where do I start? You know what I mean? Because a couple Xbox ones have come up on Craigslist, and again, it's like,
you're tempted.
It'd be cool to get, but it's like, do I need it? Because they're not always cheap.
They're not.
Like the Nintendo ones are outrageous.
Yeah, they're insane. Luckily, I got this one for a good deal, and I'm a PlayStation guy, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
And this thing is so bright, man. Like, man, I was thinking about putting it in my room, like, having it set to alarm, like.
Like in your bedroom.
Bright up and everything. That'll be something to wake up to. But this is just really. I'm just really ecstatic to have this. I just never thought I would have this item, and I had an opportunity to get a PlayStation sign before, but then the seller decided he wanted to keep it, so I never really thought about it again. Then the chance just came back, and I just bought it on the mark. So
it's beautiful.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
I'm pumped up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And now someone offered me to sell me a PS2 one, which I don't know if I should get it, but
See, I would be more tempted to get the PlayStation 2 because that, for me, is one of my favorite.
It's one, yeah.
I love that.
It's blue too. Like it's different. It's really different from this one.
The thing is, this is so heavy. The shipping would be brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're talking about like $50, $60 worth of shipping probably. So.
Well, we'll have to take a look at it.
But yeah, like I said, really ecstatic to have this. This is just really like wow, like never thought this would happen.
Would you get any of the Nintendo ones if you had that? What Nintendo sign would you get if you get any of them?
To be honest with you, when it comes to Nintendo, I just don't. I would get one, but I would probably give it to somebody else. I would just get it. There's nothing I could think of that Nintendo.
The one for me, GameCube. I love the GameCube. I was blown away by when I first got my GameCube. And I don't know what the sign looks like, so I can't really say.
It's cool. It's actually cool. It's like a square, and GameCube, just like a cube, actually.
Huh.
I'll take that back, though. I would say the Super Nintendo one.
Yeah, of course.
Super Nintendo was the Nintendo system that really won my heart.
And that logo is iconic.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, these are our pickups.
Yes.
For 2016 so far. So
17.
Oh. Wow! Whoa! What am I thinking about? We're already in 2017, man. So sorry.
That's all right. The calendar just switched over,
But yeah, we're starting off really good. Just out there hunting or whatever.
Always.
Yeah, always.
We were doing that today, actually.
Yeah.
Like we didn't show the stuff we actually picked up today. That'll be the next video.
The next video, definitely.
Yeah.
But we found some good stuff today too. So
I know we
pretty
did.
Awesome. So.
I know. Yeah, it's cool. All right, well, hey, let us know down in the comments below what you guys thought of this video. Thanks for coming on, man. Should we do another bro fest? Where can people find you?
Radical Reggie on YouTube, also on Twitter. I even have an Instagram now, and I even made a Facebook Radical Reggie page. Which pretty pumped up about now. I actually did it finally. So very cool. So come check me out if you have a chance. But
absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and take care. Thanks, guys, so much for watching this pickups video with my good bud, Reggie. I love it when he comes over. When he came over, actually, this weekend, we shot 5 videos. 5 new videos, and this is just one of them. So lots of Reggie goodness coming to the channel. So you're going to want to be subscribed because I release 2 new videos every single week. Ooh, look at that. It's Shadow of the Colossus. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.